Today I'll be speaking about my empire, the Lame Empire. The acronym stands for Abel's Middle Eastern Empire. This empire is located in the Middle East and encompasses present-day countries Egypt, Palestine, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Turkey, Syria, Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Oman, and Yemen. There is an abundance of oil in this region, and the extraction of this oil will be the chief economic activity of this empire. The empire was established when a military regime consisting of highly trained Middle Eastern soldiers emerged in Jubail, Saudi Arabia, and conquered surrounding countries, gaining militants along the way. The goal of the regime was to create an autonomous empire that would one day rule the world. Political and religious strife within the region presented the Lame regime the opportunity to intervene in such countries with a strong military presence and provide said states with bureaucratic structure. Governmental system. The empire practices an authoritarian form of government. This means that no free elections will be held for the citizens, meaning the current dictator will rule until death or until the collapse of the empire. The eldest son or daughter of the dictator will assume the position of the dictator after the death of their parent. Transportation in and out of the country, with the exception of trade, is scarcely permitted. In addition, citizens lack any substantial political power and are expected to comply with governmental policies. The government will direct large amounts of money towards the expansion of the military, along with a secret police system that will prevent uprisings within the empire. In addition, the government will establish a large nuclear arsenal for the efforts of thousands of scientists and engineers. The official currency for the empire will be the lame dollar, which will have the printed face of the current dictator in the empire. Public education will be provided for all children, despite gender or social status, and will be run by the state. Universal health care will be provided to all citizens as well. The official language of the empire will be Arabic. The official religion of the empire will be Islam, specifically Sunni, although the government will not rule based on Sharia law, but rather from policies and laws that are conceived from the dictator, him or herself. Social structure. Although in ideology the Lame Empire recognizes communism as their economic system, social stratification is inevitable in every civilization, and unequal distribution of wealth exists within every border, on all borders. Government officials reside at the top of the hierarchy, for they possess most political power and make decisions pertaining to trade. The upper middle class consists of the highly educated individuals like the engineers and scientists that construct and maintain oil rigs. Although they are paid the same as other citizens, they receive privileges such as better housing and healthcare. The middle class is made up of those who work in the service industry, such as waiters, taxi drivers, and chefs. The lower class consists of those who perform blue collar jobs, such as construction, and those who work on oil rigs. Economy. The Lame Empire practices communism, meaning that all businesses that yield income are owned by the state and a private sector is non existent. Around 49% of all oil reserves in the world are located in the Middle East. This is a huge economic advent to the empire that is exploited heavily. The majority of the revenue that comes into the state is derived from the trade of oil. To maximize efficiency when extracting oil, high quality rigs, highways, dockyards, and airports will be constructed to facilitate this process along with trade. As demonstrated in modern society, oil is imperative to the contemporary world to function. Therefore, with control over a large portion of the world's oil reserves, the empire could obtain significant political power around the world and even become an economic world power. Culture. Although culture is perceived as an aspect of society that is naturally occurring, the Lame Empire will produce a uniform culture by controlling all aspects of media and forms of artistic expression such as music and art. The Lame Empire assumes the boundaries of many separate countries that all have distinct cultures, so uniform culture could act as a unifying force between these exotic peoples. The empire would be significant patrons of the arts and as well as other cultural aspects. To sustain the culture of the Lame Empire, certain children will be chosen to work in specific spheres of culture and will specialize in these practices as adults. For example, a child could be chosen to become an artist and will train his or her whole entire life to become the ideal artist. In this way, the government controls popular culture and has more power over the people. Dubai demonstrates the technological advancement of the 21st century and will be the official cultural capital of the Lam Empire. All of the greatest works of art, pieces of music, and architectural advancements in the empire will diffuse from the city and will serve as a display of the luxury and power to other countries. Legacies. Throughout history, a multitude of empires have existed all across the world, and collapse is almost inevitable. But certain achievements and legacies remain eternal and are spoken of in later generations. In the Lam Empire, the greatest architectural achievement will be that of the Burj Khalifa 2.0. The structure will be located in previously mentioned Dubai and will stand right next to the current Burj Khalifa, yet it will tower 500 feet taller. The construction will be fully subsidized and overseen by the government. Such an architectural feat will be remembered as one of the greatest achievements of the Lam Empire. A wall surrounding the empire. Within 10 years of the creation of the empire, a 20-foot tall wall will be constructed around the entirety of the empire. This wall will protect the empire from invaders, prevent immigration, and serve as a symbol of dominance to other nations. Iconic flag. This iconic flag was designed by one of the many successful artists that were a product of the empire and is universally recognizable as a symbol of the Lam Empire. Contemporary issues. ISIS. The presence of ISIS and other Islamic extremist groups is permeating throughout the contemporary Middle East and could be problematic to the Lam Empire. The extensive police system of the empire will prevent any of these groups from attempting attacks by reporting any suspicions to the government, who will then handle the situation. Any citizens that are thought to be associated with such extremist groups, in addition to any citizens that are caught conspiring to revolt against the government, will be killed. If an insurrection were to occur, then the strong military will be able to suppress the situation. Hunger. Little to no farming occurs in the Middle East, and the region is practically void of any commercial farming due to the arid climate in the region. This means that there will be very little domestic food produced to feed a very large population. Therefore, the empire must rely on trade to receive food from other countries. This could prove to be an ineffective solution, because due to the authoritarian nature of the government, economic sanctions could be placed on the empire by the world's economic world powers, such as the US. This conflict is demonstrated in North Korea, a country ruled by a dictator that has an insufficient amount of food to feed the people due to economic sanctions and an authoritarian government that does not provide for its citizens. In conclusion, the authoritarian government and the communist economic system of the Lam Empire yields an efficient empire whose endeavor for political and economic power often comes at the cost of the citizens living within its own boundaries. Despite the presence of universal healthcare and public education, citizens still find themselves at a low standard of living due to the misguided investments of the government in projects such as the Burj Khalifa 2.0. This demonstrates the disregard for human rights in countries such as the